Manus flat on the canvas. We are ready to rock and roll. Second round of action. There is a cut on Manus.
Martial arts chat.
My man B-Hop got dropped out the ring last night. I need a little judo baby. I need me a little judo baby, and let's do it, Ron. Let's hit me up.
See you were telling me this. You've got a face for radio.
I've got a face for radio.
That's nice.
Martial arts chat.
Martial arts chat.
Hello and welcome to the Martial Arts Chat podcast. I'm your host John Boy McElroy, and on this episode we'll be speaking with all the Scottish fighters competing at Cagewarriors in '95. It takes place Saturday the 21st in London. Later in the show, the Scottish media will also be in, and we'll be discussing all things MMA here in Scotland. And of course answering some of your fan questions as well. Thanks for everybody who got in touch. Before we continue, let me give a shout out to the sponsors, starting with A1 Fight Gear. A1 Fight Gear use the latest cutting edge boxing gloves for professional and amateur fighters, gym enthusiasts and kickboxers. So local and national gyms, you need to do yourselves a favour and check out a1fightgear.com. They've got lots of cool Muay Thai gear there as well. We're also sponsored by Beast Gear. So if you're looking to get into shape, get back into shape, or keeping it trim and tidy, go to beastgear.co.uk and use the coupon code MartialArtsChat. If you do that, you'll save 15% off your purchases there. They've got core sliders, straps and barbell pads, all these really cool strength and conditioning programs to suit your needs at different levels. I love their gum shield as well. I've been representing that on my mats. Awesome stuff. So beastgear.co.uk, coupon code is Martial Arts Chat, and you'll beast your goals. To our guests, first up we make a trip to Aberdeen Combat Centre, where we speak with Paull McBain. I'm pleased to say we have joining us at this time Scotland's own Paull McBain. Paul, how you doing, sir?
I'm good, mate. How's you?
Pleasure to have you on. I've actually been looking forward to this for a while, because the first time I set eyes on you, mate, was FFC, and I was cage-sized when you clocked out Niall Smith next week.
Oh, yeah.
Amazing, mate, amazing. Momentum's definitely on your side. You still got into Cagewarriors. You took out Lloyd Manning. He was undefeated. That last win over Sam Spencer, what a solid performance. Before we get Steve, just how you enjoying things as a martial artist? You're on fire, as they say, mate.
Yeah, well, to tell the truth, mate, I just doing it, training, enjoying it. Until I stop enjoying it, then I'll stop fighting. But I'm turning up at a gym and I'm enjoying training. That's why I'm here. And that's why I'm fighting. I'm managing to compose myself in there. Fight in, fight out, and just through enjoying training. And enjoying, like people say, fight camps. I don't call it a fight camp. I just call it a get fit camp. A fight camp. Yeah, but just pretty much. It's just like a fitness camp, because I'm sharp all year round. There's no such thing as getting sharp for me. I'm just focusing on getting fit to fight fit. But I'm in the gym all year round, training, getting better. So every fight I feel myself improving, and just due to being enjoying it.
Aye.
Coming in and actually wanting to learn, wanting to get better.
That's it, mate. And I've heard you speak a couple of times about the pride you take in fighting for Cagewarriors promotion. Was it a big deal for you when you were up?
Yeah, yeah. Well, I always when I first started off as an amateur, I always says, and we have training partners, and we always says, "But where do you want to go?" And I'm like, and we all says, "Oh, how cool would it be fighting on Cagewarriors?" That was, I think it was on maybe on like 1-2 fights at amateur by then. So to actually, put in the work and get where I am, it's not through luck. You don't get where you are for just luck and Definitely. The performances I put on or try put on. That's not luck. It's hard graft. It's enjoying what I do.
And it definitely pays off. Let's get to Steve Immoble then. He's a bit his experience as it gets. I mean, no disrespect to the previous opponents, but I mean, he's been around the block twice and back, let's say.
Yes.
It's a tough test for you, Paul. What's your feelings, what's your thoughts going into this one, and your thoughts on Steve?
To tell the truth, mate, I haven't watched much about him. I've probably watched maybe 15-20 seconds. I leave that up to my coaches. I just get in. I think one of my first fight in Cagewarriors, when I fought Lloyd, I got a hard time off Lloyd in the first round, and Lloyd was pretty much the first fighter I've actually studied, and I've actually tried to counter him, and to do you know what I'm saying? I was trying to fight his fight,
thinking about his game,
his shots.
Yeah.
Yes, I fought his fight, and I was trying to fight, I counter his shots and what. And then I got clipped a couple of times, and then I focused, and then I was like, fuck it, I'll fight my fight.
Yeah.
And ever since that, I never done it before as an amateur. I never done it in my first few fights as a pro, and I done it that fight, and I got the hardest time.
Yeah.
Instead of going in there and going, because every one of my fights, I'll mix it up. I'll do different things, but I was trying to counter his stuff, and it was silly. And I wasn't trying to fight my fight. I was thinking about what he's going to do, what not I'm going to do. So I think it's going to be a totally different approach to this fight.
You're probably quite right. I mean, I've heard guys say that a lot of times. Like they just sort of, especially earlier on and when turning pro and things like that, they just focus on themselves. That's all you can do is just think about yourself. Try not to think about the other guy. But just because you brought it up, just what was the mindset when studying Lloyd? What way did you want to dissect him before that fight?
It wasn't even so much that. It was more because he was a southpaw.
Something new, right?
Well, no, because what was his name? Southpaw, the guy that SFC.
Niall Smith, I suppose.
Niall was a southpaw as well, but I never done a lot. I just thought that as orthodox. I didn't do too much with that. But I knew Lloyd fought really good as a southpaw striking. Well, he KO'd pretty much everybody he came up against. So I was like, I'll study him. I'll try and move out the way. And let's be serious. My 6-8 week hard training studying somebody is not going to beat what he's been doing his whole life.
Aye, fair play.
You know what I mean? So now I'm like, I'll chuck out under the bus, and now they can just fight my fight. I'm not fighting theirs. I'm not even looking at theirs. People say, "Oh, what about that?" I didn't even know. I'm going out there thinking he's the best boxer in the world. He's the best Thai boxer in the world. He's the best wrestler in the world. He's the best jiu-jitsu artist in the world. I'm going out there thinking he's every one of them.
Yeah.
So if he's one of them, good.
You've covered all your bases.
Exactly, I've covered it. Or just cover all aspects.
That's it, definitely. Scotland representing here in London as well. We've got welterweight, bantamweight, got yourself at featherweight as well. How do you feel flying the flag at 145? You a patriotic kind of guy, mate? Yes,
very good. I think it's good. Like there's a few other featherweights not in Scotland that are really good in different promotions, but I'm glad to be where I am and flying the flag. It's good for us, and it's good for my team as well, and to focus on just and look at it like that's where you can go. This is where I want you to be following. And I've not stopped yet. I'm going. I'm not taking backward steps. I'm just going forward. That's all I'm focusing on, and I think it's good for everybody. Good for people in general in Aberdeen who want to start mixed martial arts. It's like, I never done nothing before, and I started off, and here I am. So if I can do it, I tell you, anybody else can do it.
That's it, mate. I mean, we were texting a wee bit before the show, and obviously being in Aberdeen, it goes par for a course that you're offshore, mate. Everyone I know from Aberdeen's always on the rigs or offshore. How did you find it? Is it a tough gig doing that and training and back and forth and things like that?
It's hard, but hey, it's nothing's easy, is it? As I say, I always just take it as getting fit. I'm in the gym all year round. Like I hit pads offshore, I go running offshore, I do everything. I've got guys from my gym actually on the same rigging as you say. You'll know somebody. Like I've got every time I'm there, I've got somebody to hit pads with, either Thai boxing, grappling. So it's just another gym for me. I work my 12 hours, hard 12 hours. I put a lot into that, and I need to sacrifice going and hitting pads for 2-3 hours or 2 hours a night. It's tough going.
Oh, aye, tough, no doubt. But
it's more mentally tough. It's not even physically. It's more you're thinking, fuck, I've just finished a hard 12-hour shift. Now I need to go and hit 3-5 rounds of pads, and and then go to bed and back up again. But hey-ho, I'm not going to sit here and cry about it. Just get on with it.
No, fair play, mate.
You got to feed the kids. I've got a house and 2 kids. As Cagewarriors said, look, we'll pay your mortgage and give you a wage, I'd happily enough. I'd happily enough fight full time and for them. But at the end of the day, mate, you know as well as MD, you've got to make a living.
That's it, absolutely, my friend. And I've spied a wee video here, right? So it looks like training stuff you're saying, but this video you're doing the floss inside the cage. What's the story there?
It took me months to hit that. Right? It took me months, and I had no coordination for that at all. I was trying to get my wee boy to show me,
right?
And I've actually been. I was actually on YouTube, Facebook one day, and you know how the videos pop up and they just play automatically.
Aye.
Right, so I wasn't searching this on YouTube before you start, right? So I flicked across and it was a tutorial on how to do it. So I watched it for like 10 seconds and that was nailed it. But see, I'm like that. I'm like that for everything. Like you show me something, you show me it once and once only, and that's in my head. It doesn't matter. Like one of my coaches the other day, one of my fighters, he coaches me jiu-jitsu as well. He showed me something and he's like, you know, you're just a sponge. Eh? It's like I showed you that in the whole drill, and I think we was rolling and I done the full, step, and he's like, you know, I just showed you that 2 minutes ago, and you're hitting it.
Aye.
I'm kind of like that. I watched something once. That's it. It's in my head.
Were you like that as a kid growing up, Paul? Like photographic memory, do we call that?
Not even so much that. I think it's because I enjoy it, and I don't really know it. I'm just, you know, especially in jiu-jitsu, I just get it. Wrestling, I just get it.
Yeah.
Striking, I just get it. It's just easy for me.
Aye.
It's not easy going when you're smashing pads for 20 minutes, but somebody shows me something, I'm just like, how did I not do that before? And it just adds to my game, and it's another thing I did.
Sounds like just natural.
More tools in the toolbox.
That's it, exactly, and just keep building. And not to sound cheesy, but that's the journey, innit? That's how the journey continues.
Exactly. Improving.
Fair play, mate.
Enjoying the journey more.
Absolutely. Now, not to look too far ahead, but after Steve, I've got to ask this one, mate. After Steve, if you get the W, where do you see yourself next? Where does the rest of the year hold for Paull McBain?
Well, I'm. Who's even? Are they going to put somebody up for this belt? I know it's vacant.
It's vacant belt, aye. I mean, you've got to be in the mix, surely.
Well, surely. Once I go out there and put in a good performance. But yeah, I'm not looking past Steve one bit. He's a very tough opponent, and I'm looking forward to testing myself. I'm looking forward to that test, and every fight's a test. And you know, if you're not getting a test, then you're not progressing in general. You know.
Definitely, mate. Definitely.
But yeah, that belt's vacant. I want to be that. I want to be that featherweight world champion. That's where I want to be. So I'm not going to stop until I get it.
Nice.
So whoever they put towards me after this, I'll take it. As I say, I'm not sure when shows and that are. When's the next one after?
Liverpool we've got after this, I think.
That's 1st of September, is it?
Yeah, Paddy Pimlet will no doubt be headlining that.
Yes, I'm actually going on my stag do on the 2nd. I'm getting married, and so that's my stagger.
Congratulations.
20 odd. Cheers, man. There's like 21 boys going to Ibiza on the 2nd. So what a tear up that would be if they put me up for that belt on the 1st.
There you go, mate. Yeah,
on that 1st, I'll wrap it around me in Ibiza.
I can't wait to see the pictures for that. That'd be awesome, man.
No, I'll wait and see. I'll get a talk. Obviously, it's a good question. It's not. I'm not looking past Steve one bit, but in my head, that's where it's going to be.
Yeah.
And that's where it's going to be in my head. I'm not taking anything away from my opponent. He probably thinks he's going to kick my ass as well, and he's looking at the belt as well. It's fighting at the end of the day, is it?
Yeah.
But in my head, this is where I'm going to be, and if I believe it, it's going to happen.
Excellent stuff.
So
Paul,
it's all good.
It's a pleasure to have you on the podcast, mate. Before I let you go, I'll just give you the chance here to shout out any sponsors or associates or affiliates. Anyone you like, mate, the floor is yours, pal.
You're right. I got asked this question a while back. I've got quite a good supporting sponsors. I'll try and remember them all off the top of my head. I'll go with Guerrilla Warwear. I've got OEM. I've got UK Fitness Food, Aberdeen Combat Centre Gym, Body Kinetic, Nicola Harkins. I've got loads, man. I know I'm going to miss somebody, and I'm going to feel Wayne Grant. I've got him, Sparky. I'm going to miss one out, but if I do miss one out, they're on my Fighters profile. It's on my screensaver there. Well, not my screensaver, which is the back wall thing. But it's quality. Like, cheers for that anyway, mate.
Magic. Paull McBain, best of luck at Cagewarriors, mate. I can't wait to see these stag do pictures when you get that W and get the belt, mate. That's going to be cracking.
Nah, you won't, man. My Facebook will be getting deleted before that. You're missing me in a little pair of hot pants, yeah?
Doing the floss, that's it, mate.
Yeah, it'll happen.
Awesome stuff, mate. Catch up again soon, brother. All the best for London.
Alright, cheers, dude.
Cheers to Paul. So excited for this fight, man, and you guys should be too. He really knows how to bring that fire. Okay, let's continue with the chat. And next we have returning to the show. It's the Hitman, Ross Houston, Saturday the 21st of July. I'm pleased to say we have returning to the show SBG Zone and part-time coach for John Boy McElroy when it comes to jiu-jitsu competitions. It's Ross the Hitman Houston. Ross, how you doing, mate?
What's happening? All good? How are you?
I'm doing well, good, man. It's good to have you back on, and the winning streak continues for you, mate. Obviously, last time.
Just part of the process now. I've got to chat to you before we.
That's the ritual, isn't it? Well, we had we were hoping to sort things out for Lewis Long, but had that unfortunate duty, unbeknownst to me, that it was breaking news to you, mate. I felt like such a dick when I messaged you saying, by the way, Lewis is out.
I forgot about that.
I was like, oh no. I messaged Ross and I was like, so what's happening? And you were like, sort of going, why, what's up? I was like, oh shit. And that was it.
Actually, I do remember that, because I always thought it was all good to go, didn't I? Then I don't think my management even knew. You had spoke to Lou Long just before that? I was
supposed to have Lewis, I think, on the show that day, and that's how I found out. And I think he broke his hand or something. I'm sure something went south. He had an injury anyway. Yeah, and I had your guys at King's hitting me up going, what's this? What do you know? And I'm like, oh shit, now I'm stuck in the middle.
Strange one, wasn't it?
But it was all good. Aaron stepped in, fair play to him actually. And that was the rematch, obviously. You went in there professional, you got the job done. But just a couple of things, mate, now, coming out of this one, and I'd like to go through with you, mate. First of all, we had the walkout, right? Cagewarriors seemed to be balls out the walk-up music. I don't know whoever messed that up. They need to have a word with themselves. But you obviously didn't let that phase you. You're very professional in your conduct. But what I imagine was likely on your mind going into that fight, for those that don't know, sadly, Ross's mother had passed away. Talk to me, Ross. What was that like to deal with? It was probably extremely tough, I would imagine, right?
It's a tough one, obviously, but I spoke to my dad and spoke to my family, and I knew it could have been a possibility in terms of like the time, but this is like my life as well. So I kind of just made the decision to just on with the job. I guess obviously it was hard. I've never really been in that situation before. I did it, I'm glad I did it, because I can't. You've got to keep moving with chasing your dream and keep moving with things, I guess. So it was tough, but like I said, glad I did it.
Well said. Well said. I'm sure your mum's looking down very proud on her boy. That's for sure, mate. And in that second round, I saw you shaking out your hand. You broke your hand in that fight as well against Aaron, right?
I did. I was me and my coaches were looking at how Khalid fights a bit. We look back at the first fight, and you like that outside leg kick, and he would drop his you cut the angle. Obviously, like people like a left hook or a jab or kind of like a left body shot to step the angle, then throw that low kick. Yeah. So his head was always coming across towards the right hand side as he's throwing that leg kick. Yeah. So we've been practicing this kind of looping hook overhand right, just a nice loose one, for a couple of weeks beforehand, to be honest. And I was just kind of started off working some feints, getting a bit of a reaction off him. I knew you could kind of people almost just pour out of the left hand and not actually want to hit with the left hand just to set up the low kick. So I knew that was coming straight away. So I just went bomb, and it landed. I dropped him within the first 10 seconds, I think. I think because it's like a long cut, so it wasn't like a normal hook, I'd like turn my knuckles a wee bit just to make it a bit longer,
right.
And that exposes obviously the top of the hand a wee bit, so I make knuckles land on his forehead. I think it's in the second round. I remember feeling a tingle in my hand, but I didn't notice at the time. But the time I noticed it was when I was on the ground and I went to do some ground and pound.
Just a grapple, right? All right, ground and pound.
Because obviously when you're on the feet and you strike, it's split-second stuff. You kind of just launch your hands and you don't really think about it. But when someone's on the ground and you're kind of like hitting, you're like, I was like, oh, that kind of hurt. And I was like trying to switch hands and then work my elbows and stuff. So yeah, I broke my hand in that. Khalid's just a tough dude in general. Literally a name on nature, I guess.
Yeah, we've had Aaron on the show a couple of times. I mean, he's a typical Welshman. He's very blasé, like nothing seems to faze him, and he seems like a genuinely nice guy. And obviously, I wish him best too. But well, let's move on then. No rest for the wicked. You were back to coaching duties. We were saying I spotted you the On Top show. I think it was like a week or two later. Seeing your boys fighting that cards, and you were coaching there. You were with I don't think you were in a sling. I think you had it in a cast. And I mean, did it hinder things at all? I guess you just got on with it, right? But has it hindered your coaching duties at all?
I didn't actually. It did cause a problem in terms of holding pads. I couldn't do that, but I had a couple of other guys with me. I'm trying to think. I think maybe Cam
Chambers, yeah.
Yeah, so he held some pads just to get the guys warm. And yeah, obviously in terms of like just instructional vocal stuff and verbal stuff, that was all good, to be honest. So it did, in terms of the gym and all that, it did start me doing a wee bit, but I could still explain the technique.
Sure.
So yeah, you just got to get on with it. It's part and parcel of the game. And to be honest, I've been doing this for around 7 years now. And, that's the worst. A broken hand's the worst injury I've had. So I can't really complain, man. I've not been too unlucky, to be honest. Touch wood.
That's a good track record, man. That's good going. All things exactly, mate. It could be a heck of a lot worse. Good for you, mate. Fair play, and you're back training in preparation for Nathan, who we'll get to see in a minute. So how's the hand feeling now in training in general? Everything going pretty good, yeah?
Hand feels mint. I'm hitting 100%, both hands. I'm feeling mint, feeling strong. I'm going to come into this fight 100%, ready to go 7-0 and just do the business again. Get that belt.
Awesome stuff. Let's get to Nathan Jones and Mr. Bagging Tag, and this will be his. I think it's his 20th fight or something. He's a big lad and a fair old bit of experience. He's been around the block with Bellator, with Bama. Is it fair to say, Ross, this is probably your toughest test to date?
Yeah, in terms of experience, I think so. I think so far I've beaten a lot of prospects, a lot of people with a lot of hype behind their name. So this is the first kind of like experienced guy who's been around the block a bit, experienced guy that I've fought. So yeah, I guess it didn't really change anything in terms of my approach to the fight. I train hard. I think there isn't really you physically you'd be struggle to find someone who trains harder than me. And I train and spar with a lot of high level guys as well all the time. I travel, so it doesn't really change anything in terms of my preparation, and it definitely doesn't change anything in terms of my mindset, because like I spoke to you before, it doesn't matter who's in front of me. I know what the result's going to be. I'm mentally unbreakable, confident, ready to go.
Yeah, man, and you're usually, like you said, round about in your travels. Often we see you down in SPG Manchester, but you've been in Birmingham for this one, eh? Talk to us a wee bit how that's going for you, mate.
Yeah, I was down, because I'm from near Birmingham originally.
No way, not that accent. That's an Inverness accent, surely.
Yeah, I know, yeah. So yeah, I was down there for like 21 years, so and I started training MMA down that neck of the woods. So I was down seeing some mates, and I went and did a lot of training down at Team Renegade as well, so it was pretty cool, to be honest, because got a lot of rounds in with Leon Edwards, and he was like, I think that was his last hard week before he went and fought Donald Cerrone, who he beat. So I got a lot of rounds in with him.
That's
MMA
awesome.
Rounds and striking rounds. So that's just really, you couldn't really. I'm trying to think. You struggle to find any. It's between him and like Darren Till. In terms of welterweight sparring in Britain. Yeah. I guess. So I'm had some good training with him. So I was over the moon with that. He got some good advice off him. Picked up some good tips, and I did a lot of rounds. Well, I did some rounds grappling with Tom Breeze, and we had a private session with Tom Breeze as well.
Nice.
To be honest, the team were really welcoming down Team Renegade. So we really picked up a lot whilst we were down there, and they made us feel welcoming. So looking forward to getting down there again. Feel really. There's probably, in terms of the level of sparring, the best training camp I've had in terms of sparring level and stuff like that.
That's
so
awesome.
Yeah, I enjoyed it, and it's kind of like, it's good to make connections in, I don't want to say the journey, it sounds a bit cheesy, but it's good to meet up with new people and make some mates and all that. So I'm glad we did it.
Yeah, man.
And, made some new connections. And
headlining that night when Cagewarriors will be the welterweight belt, obviously you'll be focused on what you've got to do against Nathan, but I mean, you must have an eye on how Mahad and Stefano goes down, right?
100%. I think that, that Jazzamini, I was exchanged a few words online, so I think I'd like that fight to happen. Yeah. So I'll beat Nathan Jones July 21st. I'm hoping that Jazzamini wins the belt, and then me and him can fight for the belt after that. That would be a good shot. Yeah.
No, that would be awesome, mate. Just off topic though a wee bit. UFC Tough Tryouts was on, and then it was off, and it seemed, I don't know what happened, Ross. Can you close up and the listeners up? How did things go south? What went wrong there?
Well, I'm kind of like, it was an open audition for any professional fighter who was undefeated with like 4 or more fights. So I went over there just to chance my hands, really. Mm-hmm. And the auditions were for welterweights, lightweights, and featherweights. Mm-hmm. So I went over there, tried out. To be honest, it was a pretty weird setup, to be honest, because I got there. You're hanging around for the whole day. Took about like 16, 17 hours. And you get there, you wait around for ages, and then they call your division up. I had I'm trying to think how long the round was. I think it was I had a 1 minute, a 60-second grappling round with someone. So that was pretty much all I did in terms of grappling, and then there was odd numbers. So at the end they were like, "Does anyone want to roll again?" And I just jump up, a chance to kind of stand out from the crowd.
Sure, right.
Did another 60 seconds work. So that was good. So we did that, and then you kind of you get sent off again, and then they cut off a lot of people after the grappling. So I think 50% of the welterweight division got cut off after the grappling, even if they did good. It's just weird. And then about a couple of hours later, I got called up to hit some pads just to look at the striking, and then they cut off another load of people. So I got through these first 2 stages, and then you had an interview at the end. Where they just kind of get a bit of background info from you. So I did that, and then at the end of the day, all the lightweights, the featherweights, and the welterweights that were remaining, some of the Ultimate Fighter officials came out, and they were like, obviously, we can only have 2 weight classes in the Ultimate Fighter series, so we've decided to drop the welterweight division. So. That was pretty much that. It was out of my hands, I felt the interview went well. I performed well in the grappling. The striking felt smooth. So you know what? Thinking back at it, I'm kind of I'm glad I did it still, because it's kind of, I feel like I made some good connections. Like Sean Shelby was there and stuff. I was speaking to him, and he's your UFC welterweight matchmaker. So I'm just hoping, keep winning, and then the opportunity pops up, and Sean Shelby's got a pile of names in front of him. It'll make my name stand out from the pile. It'll be like, Ross Houston. He travelled over from Scotland for the tryouts, so it wasn't wasted. So yeah, after the welterweight division got dropped off, we all just went out on the lash in Vegas. So at least we had that.
Yeah, something good. There's something good that's come from it. But I mean, how much of a scunner is that? It's like that you go all the way there for them just to tell you your division's dropped. And fair play, you're doing the positive mental attitude of, you've made contacts and you've got your name out there. So you got a chance to speak to Sean Shelby and that. You got a chance to meet them, and
we did. I spoke to him, but. Without brown nosing, because everyone was trying to everyone kind of knew who he was. So I spoke to him and got the crack with him, but I didn't try too hard. A sucker. So it was a good experience. Expensive experience, but luckily my brother and my sister-in-law live over in South Florida in Tampa.
Right.
So I went over. It was like I made a mini holiday out of it. So
that's good.
2 weeks before I stopped with them, which kind of saved costs a wee bit. I did some training in some gyms around there, and then me and my brother flew over to Vegas. So it was a good experience, to be honest. Good experience.
Good stuff, mate. Fair play. Another thing that's a wee bit off topic, but it's one of the things that we'll be discussing later on this podcast with some of the media. It's just how things are buzzing right now. Well, in my opinion, buzzing right now with Scottish MMA. We've got 4 fighters in the UFC doing well. Up-and-comers like yourself, like Boom Boom Malone and Paull McBain, they're all on this card. Guys like Chris Bungard making a lot of noise in Scotland. And I'm just curious, mate, if on your thoughts, how do you assess the state of MMA in Scotland? What do you think?
Yeah, I think it's looking really good. It's looking class. Like you say, there's the likes of Danny Henry's ripping it up in UFC just now.
Yeah, man.
Stevie Ray, Paul Craig, been there for a while now. They're doing well. So yeah, I think the next wave is gonna come through soon, and then hopefully it'll just mean there's what do you say? There's 4 people in it now. Hopefully could be like 7 or 8 pretty soon. So yeah, it's just good to see, to be honest. And from a personal point of view, just in terms of like opportunities and all that, we obviously want these guys to do better. We want these guys to do well because there's more likelihood of UFC coming back to Glasgow, and that's kind of my calling card, isn't it? That's going to be my opportunity, as well as like the likes of me, McBain, Bungard, Scott Malone, and stuff like that. So yeah, just really good to see the progression. Yeah, the last couple of years especially.
Absolutely, and we're all rooting for you guys, Ross. It's always a pleasure to have you on, mate. I feel these build-up interviews are just too short. There's loads more we can talk about, so maybe sometime we'll get a proper sit-down after Cagewarriors. How does that sound, mate?
Let's do it, man. 7-0. We'll talk about who I'm going to be fighting for the title and how we're going to win it.
See, fair, mate. Ross, always a pleasure. Before I let you go, give you the floor here to acknowledge, shout out sponsors, coaches, managers, family, friends, all that good stuff, mate. Anyone you like, the floor is yours, pal.
Right, same as usual. I just want to say a massive thanks to all my teammates, my sparring partners, my coaches, and every single one of my sponsors as well. It's a tough game. So I really appreciate you all. You're massive help. So thanks. They know who they are. Just a massive shout out to all of them. Anyone who's helped me.
Awesome stuff, Ross, the Hitman Houston. Always a pleasure, mate. Best of luck, Cagewarriors 7-0. Hope you get that W, my friend.
Cheers, bro. I'll chat soon.
Outstanding from Ross. He's so close to that welterweight title shot now, and I really hope he gets what he deserves there. Last up, we catch up with Boom Boom himself, Scott Malone. To say we have returning to the show, Scott Boom Boom Malone. Scott, how you doing, mate?
I'm great, man. Yourself?
I'm doing good, man. It's good to hear from you again, and you're out in Team Alpha Male for this one. Tell us, mate, how you enjoying getting grappled by 5 foot guys?
It's brilliant, and honestly, like the level of guys out here is just ridiculous.
Aye.
Especially grappling wise. Back home, the standard of wrestling is not very good. Grappling, jiu-jitsu side, it's still good in Scotland, but like the level of actual wrestling out here is it's amazing.
No doubt. You feel different. You've been out a couple of times, right? This is a few times you made the journey.
Second time.
Time. Yeah. You're liking it. Good times, mate. It's been a wee while since we had you last on, but a typical scenario, mate. We've had you matched, and then things have went south. But Cagewarriors have done you right, and so has Corey Tate. He stepped up. What's your thoughts now on your opponent and sort of how you foresee, despite the change, how you foresee things going down, mate?
I still see me winning. I think it's a tougher fight, but it's a better fight. He's a well-known name, which is good. If I beat him, I think I should be at least in line for a title shot. I'm hoping anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's been out for a couple of years. This is his comeback. You might be better than ever, but he's not training with these guys I'm training with.
Are you worried about, I know we've got a long layoff there. I mean, he was pretty active up until sort of back end of September 2014, but there's that thing of it could be a completely different fighter, or do you just even think about that, Scott? You just think about yourself and kind of what you've got to do, I guess?
No, to be honest, I've had that many pullouts.
Aye, fair play.
I never really, I like to train. If I've got maybe I'm fighting a southpaw or something, I'll spar with a lot of southpaws, but I like to just do what I do, you know what I mean, and put that to work rather than rather than trying to go and train for a certain specific person, because, like you say, it's never actually the same person at a fight.
I know.
At the start of any fight camp, it's always someone else.
No doubt. Fair play, mate. Let's talk a wee bit about Cagewarriors previously now. You know, you got a solid performance in there, tough opponent in Jason Jenkins, but you know, that was actually that one first time in a long time there was no pullouts. Things actually went smoothly. But maybe, I don't know if you've had a wee bit of time to reflect on that performance, or did you get a chance to check it back and sort of assess how you got on?
I've looked over. I was happy with my performance. I was never really in any danger, to be honest, but I liked it. I went 3 rounds. That's only the second time in my career I've went 3 rounds, so and I felt like really fit at the end of it. Like, I felt I can go another 1 or 2 rounds at least. You know what I mean? Which is good, because I've had quite a lot of fast stoppages, and I like to get the time. But yeah, I feel I've done pretty well on the. There was a thing as well where I was in the last round. I knew I'd won the first 2 rounds, and I wasn't wanting to lose my Cagewarriors debut. You know what I mean? So it got a bit boring. I wasn't wanting to try nothing. I was happy just to ride it out and get the win.
Yeah, no, fair play, mate. And not to put the pressure on, but guys in the Scottish media game like myself and others we'll be talking to later, we look at guys like you, mate. Obviously, you're an experienced judoka. You're a solid MMA guy. Your name gets mentioned a lot in that sort of, I don't know, future stars, that kind of conversation coming out of Scotland, rising stars. You'd be like, you're obviously aware of this. Do you feel any kind of pressure at all when you hear that kind of stuff?
No, to be honest, there should be more pressure on him. You know what I mean? He's a lot more fights than me. I'm the up and coming guy. But no pressure at all. I'd never feel really any pressure at all.
No, fair play, mate. And on this card, Scottish Fighters, obviously yourself, we've got Ross Houston, we've got Paull McBain, and like I said, we'll be talking a lot about the Scottish MMA scene. Personally, I think things are, I was going to say booming, right, no pun intended, things are booming quite now in Scotland, but like yourself and the guys I've mentioned, I was just curious, mate, like your thoughts, how do you rate the game in Scotland? What do you think the future holds for us, mate?
I think Scottish MMA is great. There's loads of great guys, you know what I mean? There's loads of young, up and coming guys that are just doing debuts and stuff, like amateur, you know what I mean? There's a couple of guys in the gym that are like, you know what I mean, they're going to be good when they're older. They're hitting stuff that you'd never even dream about when you first started MMA. You know what I mean? So there's a lot of good coaches out there as well, and a lot more knowledgeable now than there were back in the day. So
sure. You travel all over the country, man. I mean, you're obviously Dundee, but I see you down my neck of the woods, Scottish Hit Squad. I mean, you're all over the place. You've got your finger in the pulse and all those kind of those different mats. And I was just also curious about, because obviously you're the judoka guy. How do you rate judo side of things when it comes to particularly Scotland as well, not just MMA? What we're looking at in terms of Scottish judo?
Scottish judo is it's good. It's up there definitely. There's a lot of guys that come from England to come up train in Scotland. You know what I mean? So it's good. They've got a good scene up here. Obviously, there's better places in the world, but I think the Scottish judo scene is pretty good.
And a good standing.
Even Dundee's got a pretty good, solid club. You know what I mean? That I coach. There's a lot of good guys that are there. That, you know what I mean? That are like Scottish champions and stuff like that, which is good.
I mean, that's the place you think of. Well, I do. That's the place that comes to mind when I think of judo in Scotland. I usually think of shooters. I usually think of Dundee. I mean, I get a couple of rows with the guys at Fair City in Perth, and some of the judo guys come through, and I'm always pulling guard. I don't fuck about. I see myself going flying. Actually, on a personal note, see when you're down in the Scottish Hit Squad, mate, I'm sick of pulling guard. I could be doing with learning a few throws. You fancy helping a brother out?
Yeah, definitely.
So, I'll get flung about like tracksuit now. You see, I feel my fate. Fair play. Well, just a quick one, mate. Always a pleasure to get your time in the podcast. But before I let you go, Scott, you've got the floor here. Just a shout out to any sponsors, associates, affiliates, family, friends, anyone you like, mate. The floor is yours, pal.
I probably should have wrote them down because I always forget someone. So apologies. Before I came out, the main ones I really want to thank. Although I'm going to thank everyone, but the main ones are really Lisby Enhanced Sports, which has been doing my strength and conditioning. He actually helped me out getting out here with some funds and that, so that was good. There's Forsity, which has also helped me out to getting out here. I mean, without these guys, I wouldn't be out here in the first place. You know what I mean?
Yeah, fair play.
And Skyline Scaffold, they 3 guys all helped me to get out where I am right now. So a really big appreciation to them. I've got Python Fighting, which is does all my MMA gear, which is great gear, great quality. I've also got, who else have I got? Scan Fitness Food, which they give me meals. They would give me meals daily, like sort of weekly for the, you know what I mean, keeping me healthy. Blueberry Nutrition, which helps me out as well. He's going to start working with Scan Fitness Food, which is a local Dundee thing, and they're going to work together for me, which is a good thing. Trying to think who else here. CBD Brothers, on for the CBD, which is great. It helps the recovery. I can't think off the top of the head now. I'm going to post, when I post this, I'm going to post more things on top of it, so I can't. Honestly, I should have wrote them down.
You give so much support, mate, and that's why we love you. That's it, mate.
Put on the spot.
Boom Boom Malone, always a pleasure. Look forward to seeing you back in Cagewarriors, mate, and all the best for London, my friend.
Thank you.
Take care, brother. Enjoy the rest of Alpha Male, my friend. Catch you up soon.
Yeah.
We're continuing the coverage of build of Cagewarriors 95. It takes place this weekend in London. We've heard from the fighters, now let's hear from the finest in Scottish MMA media. First up from Fight Talk Scotland, always a pleasure to have him on, Mr. Don Wilson. Don, how are you doing, sir?
I'm doing good. Yourself?
Hanging in there, brother. I'm hanging in there. It's a Scottish summer that's just
I know.
burning me. That's it, mate. Need some cool down with some beer, I think. That's just always the way anyway, isn't it? So we've got joining us, keeping the Scottish theme. It wouldn't be anything without Heffy himself. From the Daily Record, it's Tom Heffernan. Tom, how you doing, mate?
Hi, John. How you doing? It's great to be back on, especially with the likes of yourself and Don, the Holy Trinity.
That's mate. Awesome, mate. Guys, Cagewarriors this weekend, and for this one we're concentrating on the Scottish fighters. Let's have a look at those guys, starting with Scott Boom Boom Malone. Malone had the usual news to deal with. It was another change of opponent. It's just a regular occurrence now, it seems, I think. But he had that solid debut, Cagewarriors against Jason Jenkins. It's Corey Tate now who steps in for Darren O'Gorman. Tate's obviously got a fair bit of experience, but huge gaps, man. Huge gaps in his fighting. Probably, I was talking to Scott, he was saying that could make it more of a mystery, but I don't know. Malone, he's made the trip out of Alpha Male. He's getting the wrestling thing in. He's obviously got the judo behind him. Let's get the thoughts of the panel here. I'll start with Tom Heffernan. Tom, how do you think Boom Boom fares here against, despite the change of opponent, against Corey Tate?
Sometimes that can throw people off but I don't think that will be the case for Scott. I think he's pretty focused, and he's took the time to go out to Team Alpha Male recently. In fact, he might even still be there just now or on his way back, but he's spent a bit of time out there training with those guys. So it shows you how seriously he's taking things. So as much as a change of opponents, it's not great for your preparation, but I think he'll be quite confident getting in there. Tate, I don't know a great deal about him. I had a wee look. Seems fairly experienced. He's had fights in Cage Rage at Cagewarriors in the past. I think he's 2-1 in Cagewarriors over the years. He's had a wee shot at Cage Rage as well. So he's definitely going to be a tough cookie. But the one thing I noticed was he's only had the one fight in the past 4 years.
It's a long time, isn't it?
We wonder how that lack of activity will affect him as well.
Mm-hmm.
But what's good for Scott is he's, according to the online, he's opening the main card, so he's getting that main card slot, and he's going to be opening the show. So that's really, it shows you what Cagewarriors think of him. They've obviously got a high opinion of him, which is good. He totally dominated in his last fight, which was only back in March.
Yeah.
So it's quite pleasing to see him back in there quite so soon, because he'll be wanting to keep that momentum going.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
It's an exciting time for Scott, and I think it's definitely doable.
Don, how about yourself? Your thoughts on how Malone gets it done here against Corey Tate?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to this one. He always seems to be putting in the work. Even obviously with all his cancellations, like I remember I was checking his record there, just taking a look over some stuff earlier on, and I just started laughing. Nah, it can't be right. Because we've heard the stories of the fighters pulling out. And it's crazy to see,
but it's
like,
ridiculous, isn't it? Aye.
Yeah. But obviously that I was about like to start looking over is it O'Gorman? And then I saw a comment to say, the fight's been changed. It was like 3 days ago. I'm like, or however long it was, and I'm like, oh right, I better change over here. So I just stepped Scotty Tay, but I've not got much knowledge of him. He's been about for a while, bunch of fights, and as Tom said, he's had some amount of break. So I don't know if this is just like a case of like they've in the gym and like just threw some money at him, going, you want this fight? Are you in shape? And he's like, yeah, I might as well. Quick payday. Or the guy has been training to come back. He's had 4 years and it's kind of getting bigger. And he's like, I fancy another go. So obviously we won't know until Saturday when he steps up. But it's good to see Scott always puts the work in, and he seems to be like for social media taking the trips over to Alpha Male. It's a good thing. Some fighters don't like to not necessarily switch up gyms, but mix it up. Like you've got your home gym, but it's always good to learn from other people. It's always good to go and see, especially like going to a gym like Alpha Male, like they've got the wrestling nailed down. He's judoing, he's purple belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. So it's like that's like the full package right there. If he can work in that, he can go right up the ladder, I think.
And he is a total grasshopper and a sponge with different gyms. We've seen him down the Scottish Hit Squad. I think he's got some rounds in at MXP as well, I want to say.
Yeah. Scotland has that, right? Scotland has that kind of rivalry between the gyms, but when you get to a certain level and you want to get bigger, you need to start moving about.
Absolutely. And I think it's the second time he's made the journey now to Alpha Male, so he's obviously getting a rapport there. And we talked about the wrestling, obviously judo's a huge part of Scott's life, but the wrestling, as he sees it, maybe in this country it's lacking, which is probably a fair comment, lacking in terms of what's out there, in the world. And you're probably going to get no better place for guys his size as well, bantamweights. You know what I mean? That level of wrestling for his weight and size is Alpha Male's. It's up there with one of the best in the world, I would say. It's
definitely a little bit. Wrestling's a lot better in this country now. The last 2 or 3 years, it's used to be shot up. Yeah, sure. It used to be absolutely terrible. If you fought a British guy, it was like you just tripped him up and that was the fight over. But it's a lot better.
Yeah. What's a double
leg? Do you know what? It's quite interesting that he's looking down that road, because he's got the judo, he's got the jiu-jitsu. That's the final piece of the jigsaw to make a complete grappling package. And we've seen how well, especially recently, the guys that are predominantly grapplers are doing in the UFC at the very top level. You've got your DC, you've got your Stipe Miocic beat Ngannou, who was supposed to be a human wrecking machine, but he out-wrestled them. You've got GSP, you've got Khabib, you've got Mighty Mouse. You've seen how, what would you call him now? He just come back after Conor beat him just at the weekend there. He's Team Alpha Male.
Chad Mendes?
Chad Mendes. You've seen how well he handled himself. I think to have a successful in career in MMA and get right to the top, then grappling is key over anything.
Yeah, they always say it's a good base, especially wrestling, for the work ethic and the drive and things like that. Not just for the grappling aspect of wrestling itself, but
because it makes strikers, it makes elite strikers think twice.
Mm-hmm.
If they're not too comfy with the grappling side of things and they're fighting an elite grappler, you've seen it. How many times have we seen it? They hold back a wee bit. You know what I mean? They don't let loose like they would normally.
Don't pull the trigger.
Obviously, we're Scottish. Scott's got the judo and the jiu-jitsu and stuff. We don't need to train striking. Scottish, we're born with it.
Just pull guard. Aye, that's it.
Yeah.
We just stick the head in folk, don't we?
Aye, that's it. That's like a kiss. Like, guys, let's move on. Featherweight division, and a guy I was really excited to have on the podcast earlier is Paull McBain, because here's a fighter he's always looking for the finish. Very hard working, determined young guy, and he talks with a real pride as well. Like he's over the moon fighting in Cagewarriors. It's almost like he's living the dream here, and he's 5-0. He seems to be saying and doing all the right things. He's got a lot of momentum on his side as well. Let's start with Don this time. Don, how does Steve Aimable do against their own Paull McBain, do you think?
Aimable seems to have a good fight IQ. Like, he looks well conditioned and is extremely durable. That when his fights 2 or 3 ago versus Chase Malone, he knew the best way to win was to take this to the ground. And the guy was a good striker, and he basically did that for 3 rounds. He just got the waist, tripped him up, took him down, and then against Rick, I'm going to pronounce that second name. It was a test of durability. Rick, he busted his nose open fairly. I think it was like maybe late first round, early second, and the guy just jab. Every strike he threw was on that button. Just he's trying to basically bust him up as much as he can. But he stood in there, got through all, basically caught him and finished from the mat. Paul's got similar characteristics, I think, to Emil. He's got good fight IQ, conditioning, and a high skill level. I see this going similar to the Chase Morton fight. Emil isn't going to want to stand too much with McBain. The problem here is that McBain's wrestling in the relentless way he wrestles for positions when he's under pressure is multiple levels above Morton guy's fighting. So I think he's going to have his way in his feet, and when it goes to the mat, because I think it will, because Emil was really short. He was not short, but he's really stocky. He's built like he was going to go for that takedown. I think we use that look kind of stocky power. Basically, whenever McBain throws at him, I think this will be a good fight. And I'm going to go with McBain finishing it on the mat after getting out of a bad position. I think he's going to get taken down. He's going to have that guy with all his strength and top him, but I think he'll get out and he'll get in top and he'll finish it.
Whether that's Tom, good shout, mate. Tom, give me your thoughts on how you see Steve and Paul go down.
On paper, this looks like a cracker, to be honest. Steve has got a wealth of experience. He's had about a dozen amateur fights before he moved to professional, and he's had 9-4, something like that. However, he's making his cage. In fact, he's not lost in 4 years. In fact, he's lost once in 4 years. So he knows what he's doing in there. You know, he's very, very experienced fighter, and it's a great test for Paul, and that's exactly what he wants. It's exactly what he needs. The thing is, Paul's been in there, the Cagewarriors. He's had the experience of fighting in there, and the big lights and on the telly and all that sort of stuff. This is Steve's debut. So I don't know, will that affect him? I don't know. Maybe it will, maybe it won't. But he seems to be predominantly a striker, for what I can gather. Certainly a lot of his fights have been won by strikes. There's no submissions in there. Yeah. So Paul will, if he's got any sort of game plan, then he'll probably be looking to get it down to the floor, as Don said, and finish it there. And that would probably be right up his street, because that's what he can do. But the one thing that Paul is he's a tough guy. You know what I mean? He's very, very tough. He can take a hit, he can give a hit, he's got the cardio to go with it. And what's interesting, I don't think there's a featherweight champion at the moment, because he vacated
the belt. That's right. Yeah. So and that's one of the things I spoke to Paul about. That I says, where do you go from here? Not want him to look too far ahead, but unless I said, look, if you get a W, what's the plan? And he was kind of putting it out there. He was like, well, who is there really? Once I get this, when he said his words, not mine. Once I get this victory, I mean, who is there left? And he's probably quite right. They've got a vacant belt there. He's the man, as far as I'm concerned, if he gets the victory here.
No, I think you're spot on, because a win, and an impressive win at that, over somebody with a record like Steve, it's got to propel you. It's got to put you right in the mix. If not the title shot, then he's got to be sitting next in line after that, because he's that good, and he's very capable, in my opinion. I think he very well could be a Cagewarriors champion.
Yeah, just
really excited to see this fight.
He's McBain. He's really durable, so I think no matter what Steve throws at him, even if it is some shots, maybe he gets rocked to set up the takedown. I think his recovery rate is second to none. Mm-hmm. We saw him get caught in fights and hitting the mat, and instantly going for the takedowns, and he looks dazed out on his feet going for this takedown, and then half a second later he's on top with a better position, and it's he's got some kind of instinct. Just when he gets dazed, he somehow gets into a better position. It's just obviously that's just a high fight IQ, and he knows how to survive. And I think if anything goes wrong, obviously with the guy going for the takedown, I think he's going to do really well to get out and get back to a good position on top.
Some stuff. The third Scottish fighter of the night will no doubt have an eye on the main event because it's Ross Houston, and he's so close to the welterweight title shot. I mean, in fact, just talking there, guys, I suppose you could argue that all the Scottish fighters here, they're maybe one win away from a Cagewarriors title shot, to be honest. But Ross Houston, I mean, he really gutted it out that last fight. He lost his original opponent in Lewis Long. I was the one that broke the news to him. I felt like such a dick. He had the rematch with Khalid, dangerous, fighting a guy that you've just beat, like giving him another chance. His mother sadly passed away the week of that fight as well. And it was early in the fight. I think it was the first round that he broke his hand. So, I mean, he was up against a lot there, but credit to the Hitman, he gutted it out, he got a W, and now he's looking to make it 7-0 when he takes on Nathan Jones. Let's start with Tom Heffernan again. Tom, give me your thoughts on Jones versus Houston, mate.
No, you're spot on. Ross wins this, he's next in line for the title fight. In fact, I'm surprised he's not had it by now, because those two fights with Aaron Khalid were impressive. I know they both went the distance, but he won them unanimously. In fact, the second time out was a domination, I think. He'd improved so much more since the last time they fought, and he owned them. And as you say, it was a difficult time for him with his mum and injury as well coming after it. So shows you how mentally tough the guy is as well, to be able to go in there and perform under such circumstances. But it's his fifth fight for Cagewarriors. He's been there and done that in there. He knows what he's doing. He knows the environment. He knows the surroundings. He's 100% focused on where he wants to go. He knows that a welterweight title moves him into the upper echelons and probably a phone call for the UFC, which is where he wants to be. You never know, it could be in time for Scotland in 2019, because they did suggest it would be back every 2 years, so hopefully that's a thing. But all these are carrots in front of Ross and something to aim towards. And his opponent, Nathan Jones, again, he's another experienced guy. It's something like 11-7. He's had a lot. He's had a lot of fights. But he's been in. He's a Bellator, BAMA veteran as well. He's been around the circuit, but he's on a 3-fight losing streak. What does that do to his mentality? Is his confidence still where it should be? I don't know. Against a guy like Ross, who's undefeated and hyped up so much and so talented, and he's massive for a welterweight. We've all met him. We've stood beside him and we're like, what the hell? You should be a welterweight.
Exactly.
A detachable leg. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's one of those things. So I mean, he's an intimidating big fella for a welterweight, and I don't fancy being Nathan Jones in this one. I think there's so much for Ross to look forward to after this fight that it'll be over my dead body. Will he get beat? You know what I mean? It's one of those ones, and he's got all the tools. He's got all the shots in his locker that he can win this, and I think it's going to be a straightforward one for him.
And you mentioned the road ahead, the UFC. He had that tough tryout. I was asking him about that. I think things went south when they just got rid of the division or something. Sort of last minute, it seemed quite abrupt.
I don't know if there wasn't enough contenders or whatever, but they removed the welterweight division, but that's fine. I don't know if the tough house is a good way into the UFC or not. I'm not sure. I'm still deciding on that one.
But it gave him a wee flavour for meeting Sean Shelby and being in Vegas and that kind of thing, and that can't be a bad thing,
No, 100%. And this guy, Nathan Jones, he's got losses, and a lot of his losses are submissions, and that'll suit Ross. He likes to find that submission. So there's a lot of pluses for him, and I think that this is his destiny. He's going to go out there, he'll perform, he'll want to finish this time because he's coming off the back of two decisions against Khalid. So you'll want to get a finish, and that's the best way to make a statement and propel yourself right in there. And what's interesting, what's good for him is that the welterweight belt is being contested in the main event.
Yeah.
Right. So he's forgive my pronunciations, but Janzemini or something like that, and Paterno is contesting in the main event for the welterweight title. So if Ross comes through this, he'll be able to sit back in the chair and see what he's up against, and start immediately working on a game plan. Sussing the guys out.
Yeah, definitely. It puts him in a nice wee cushy position, doesn't it? He gets the W, he gets to sit back and basically, check out his potential future opponent, all things considered, if he gets the job done, which I hope he does. Don, the welterweight title's on the line, like Tom said, in the main event, and Ross will be watching it closely. What's your thoughts on all of this, mate?
I think this will be a good fight for Ross. Nathan Jones certainly wins the most intimidating pose in the poster.
The mug shot's brilliant, isn't
it? But I think hopefully Ross gets the finish. Jones is a good fighter, but Ross, I think, just at a higher level. Along with that, as like we were saying, he's on a 3-fight skid. Don't think this means that Ross should take the fight lightly, but I think Jones will be game. He will fight his feet in the mat. But I think if Ross is kind of focused and uses obviously his higher skill, I think he gets through this fight pretty easy. It's like you see the intimidating pose, you think, oh, this might be a challenge, and you look into it and like you look at the recent fights, and I think Ross has got this in the bag. Obviously, nobody should be going in there thinking this is an easy win. That's how you lose fights. But so hopefully he gets in there focused and gets to work, because a bit like you say, like the one win from everybody here could set up title shots for them all, and I think that would be a pretty good Cagewarriors in Glasgow, I think, if that was to happen.
Clue me up, because I'm totally ignorant to this. Has Cagewarriors ever been to Scotland, or am I just...
Yeah. I covered it once.
So was it a while back, or am I just out of the lip?
I wanted, like, what number are we on now? 90 something?
95, this will be the... Yeah.
I've got 52 in my head for some reason, but I don't think it's 52.
It seems a bit too soon. Not sure.
But I mean, it always seems to be London, Liverpool, Cardiff. Is it Cardiff? It's always those three venues, you know. And again, you've got to build up a rapport.
I've asked them if they're coming to Scotland, and they said that they've got a plan.
It looks here, Cagewarriors. I said 52, but it looks like it was Cagewarriors 53, April 2013.
Right. Okay.
Right. It was where On Top, or was it On Top? There was two big promotions in Glasgow at the time, and they used the Kelvin Grove kind of sport arena.
Yeah, right. Okay.
And they done it in there.
I wonder if that was maybe, I don't know. Were you there, Don? Was it sold out? Was it busy? Was it a success? I wonder if because when Paul Craig was a BAMA champion, I asked BAMA if they were going to come up. You know, they had everything going for them. They had a light heavyweight undefeated champion called the Bear Jew. What else do you want for marketing? You know, you had the Daily Record going to support them.
There you go.
You've got the venue. You had, all these various boxes ticked, and they still didn't want to come up. Cagewarriors have asked them as well, and they said there's no plans. They didn't rule it out, but they said there's no immediate plans or no short-term plans to come up. So I don't know whether there's a wee bit of me wondering if ACB Glasgow is putting people off.
Well, this is the thing. I was speaking about someone the other day about that, and so you guys were there as well, right? How empty that arena was, but empty in the sense that people were dotted about all over the arena. If they'd maybe closed, certain sections of it to give it a bit more intimate atmosphere, might have helped things. But yeah, that was in terms of a crowd and audience and ticket sales. That was a huge disappointment.
That's the thing with that Kelvin Grove arena. It's a weird kind of shape. It's got tiered seating on either side. It's not like all around. It's literally front and back, tiered seating up, and then a bits for table on the ground. It is quite small, right. But I've been to shows there. They used to put on so many MMA shows in Glasgow. There's one every month, and you'd get one like earlier on in the year that was absolutely mobbed, and as they got on, they would get kind of less people in that arena because folk had already been to one like the month before.
Aye.
But that place is for something like that, like to go. They had the full rig. They had all the kind of the lights above the cage, the kind of big metal rig, and that. Like you could easily fill that with like Scottish champion, belts on the line for Scottish Fighters. It's not a huge arena, but like packed out, like it probably would work pretty well because the arena they're using it now is like it's a club. It's not the Indigo.
It's the O2 Indigo. That's right. Yeah,
it is. It's not. It's quite big. It's got 2 tiers or something, but it's not huge. It's not a hydro or anything like that. So like, I think these shows, if they could find a smaller venue like and pack it out, it'd be a lot better. Whereas everybody just thinks go to Glasgow, let's use the hydro, but you need like the UFC could literally put anybody on it and fill the hydro. These are promotions can't. Like there's UFC fans and there's MMA fans, and
absolutely.
The UFC obviously attract both lots. So a smaller venue I think would work. There've been fights at Braehead before as well.
If anybody's got a chance, then it's going to be Cagewarriors because Conor McGregor, Michael Bisping, all these guys have made Cagewarriors. Stevie Ray, of course, as well. Have imprinted in people's brains because of these guys being champions. And they're on TV, they're on BT Sports, and they're on at a reasonable hour. They're starting to show their face again. It's becoming more popular. it's going to have more of a chance than your ACBs or your Bahamas. You know, nobody knew who ACB was. To be fair to them, they put on as good a card as they probably could have in terms of the fighters that were on it. But the whole thing was put together in something like 8 weeks, and it was, 6 days before a sold out Ricky Burns fight, and some fans already had booked tickets for the Ricky Burns, and they weren't able to afford both, and and there was Celtic and Rangers were both playing that weekend as well, and they will always take, whereas the UFC are coming here during post-season and things like that, the middle of July, so there's a lot of things to take into account. But I think Cagewarriors could do well coming up here, maybe the bottom half of the Hydro even, or as Don said, the Braehead Arena or something like that. But I think they shouldn't rule it out, especially if with these three guys there. And these three guys are so marketable.
Imagine like them advertising a card with 3 belts in the line, 3 Scottish fighters. That would
tremendous.
Sell.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Guys, a final bit of business before we wrap up. Tom Heffernan exclusively revealed. Jojo Calderwood steps back into the cage next month. Flyweight, I believe it seems to be where she's hanging her hat these days. She's a pioneer, man. Pioneer in Scottish MMA, that's for sure. But open floor to you both. What can we expect from Jojo? Because after UFC Glasgow, if I could just give you my thoughts, I feel like she lost a wee bit of motivation with that loss to Cynthia Calvillo. What do you think her head's at going into this one?
You go first. I might as well go. What she said was that she took some time off. It's almost a year to the day when she's going to be in there fighting again. At the moment, it's going to be more than a year by the time she gets back in there. She took some time off. She recovered from some injuries that she said she had, and I think she stepped away to sort of relight that fire a wee bit. She's moved from TriStar down to Syndicate. She's been hanging around and doing a lot of good work in the Performance Institute, and they've seemed to have sort of worked with her really well, and it sounds like she's got her confidence back. If she had lost it, I don't know, but certainly she sounds like a more confident fighter, and she feels that this is going to be the best version of Jojo ever. And what's interesting is that she was desperate for the flyweight division because she really does, cut a lot of weight to get down there to the strawweight, and she really needs a good lengthy period of time to get down there. She can't just go in and some guys or girls can go in there and fight in short notice. She can't do that. She needs to work at it. So, and what we did see was she had the first ever fight with Valerie Letourneau in flyweight, and she looked phenomenal. She owned Valerie. It was probably one of her best probably the best performance I've seen her put on in the Octagon. So, it's going to be really good for her. But it's good to see her back in. The main thing is she's back in there because we were all wondering, where is she? When's she going to come back?
If she's going to come back, that was a lot of what people were asking me. Is this it done? Awesome stuff.
It's a good fight back for her. I think it's a good matchup because she is... I should say her opponent, Kalindra Faria. She is a Thai boxer as well. She's got a Thai boxing background, so she'll probably want to strike with her.
Good matchup.
She's going off she's had 2 fights in UFC, both of them are losses, albeit one to Jessica Ai, who's a top drawer fighter. But I think it's a really good matchup for her, and one that she can go in, dominate, and get her confidence back and start refocus and get that career back in track. And start moving up the rankings again.
Yeah, I think sometimes when a fighter takes some time to steps away, it can be really good for them. Like you've had your fights, you've gone through, you're in and out of camp and stuff like that, and then you pick up injuries, take some time off, you heal up, and then you spend the next say 8 months after healing, and you just work in the gym, and you from our social media, she's been, I think the hashtag's been Jojo 2.0, so she's obviously been right. I'm back to the grind. I'm going to learn some new things. I'm going to improve on old things, and I'm going to basically work to the best that I can. So it's good to see that. And also with the Thomas saying she's been at the UFC Institute, I think that's quite good for the fighters. You remember Khalil Roundtree? He was overhearing him in Glasgow, the kind of press interview stuff. He was talking about how he went in there. and he was telling him what he was eating and stuff, and they doubled his calorie intake and this and that. And when you saw him coming out against Paul, the guy looks an absolute tank, and then if you saw what he'd done there, he finished I remember I was talking to my coach, and I was like, Khalil Roundtree saying, he's never is it Gokensaki's he's never fought a striker like me, and I'm thinking Gokensaki's fought some of the best strikers in the world.
Yeah, same.
What's
same,
Khalil? What's Khalil talking about? Then he walks out and he finishes him, and
it was no big deal. Aye.
Yeah, I think that the UFC Institute can be great for getting your diet and then seeing basically how to perfect your body.
Aye.
And if she's taking all that in and she walks out, and obviously a good weight, I think she could be. And obviously, this is going to be could be a stand-up fight with the two styles. I think it could be a really good fight back, and she's took that time off to polish everything up, learn new skills, and I think what is she, 30 now?
31 maybe?
31, yeah, it's a perfect time if she's took that year off, obviously being really skilled, to come back in there, done other stuff at the UFC Institute, got a year's worth of training, learn all that stuff. This could be the time to really make a run for it.
I think what's important is certainly for what we can gather from afar, if you like, and on social media, but she looks quite happy. For a while she looked a wee bit lost. Was she, was her heart properly in it? Did she really want to be a fighter anymore? Was it UFC where she needed to be? I don't know, but she really looks happy. She looks confident. She looks pleased with this new move. She said that there's a lot of females in the syndicate gym that she's able to train with, which is a bonus. And I think, just going back to that, the Performance Institute, I think what's important there is that these folk are properly trained in terms of the machinery that they've got, the intelligence that they can bring to it, the analysis that they can analysis that they can.
There's so much. Like Paul was telling me about when he was there. He says, he had this fantasy of cutting to middleweight, right, based on nothing but Luke Rockhold, and those guys, did crunch the numbers and measured the body fat and whatever bone density. And it was like, look, you could make this weight, but you will die doing it, and you're certainly not going to last in a cage. And when you're presented with it's almost like an academic study the way he's describing it to me. It's like, right, okay, I'll take your word for it, mate.
That's kind of where I was going with that. I just couldn't find the words now.
But you know what I mean?
The best way to describe it, an academic study. Whereas previously fighters are just sort of getting hearsay from their coaches, as much as their coaches know what they're talking about to a certain extent, but they don't have the machinery, they don't have that sort of background in terms of proper analysis that they can sit and say, right, your body fat is that, this is this and that is that, and you can possibly do this, and diet plans and all these various other things, and it must be really confidence building when you get that document, if you like, that says, right, this is you, this is exactly you, this is what you're capable of, this is what you're not capable of, now you go and make it work.
Guys, there you have it. Cagewarriors 95, it's this weekend, it's in London at the O2 Indigo, and good luck to all our Scottish boys, Paull McBain, Ross Houston and Scott Malone. At this time, let me extend my thanks to the guests here today, starting with Mr. Don Wilson of Fight Talk Scotland. Don, thank you very much for your time, sir.
Thanks, always a pleasure to be on.
And my thanks go to Mr. Tom Heffernan with the Daily Record. Tom, massive thank you again for your time, mate.
Thanks, John, anytime. Always enjoy coming on. Thanks, Don, as well.
Don't forget to subscribe to Martial Arts Chat podcast on iTunes. You can do that by searching for Martial Arts Chat, or the same on YouTube. You can like us on facebook.com/Martial Arts Chat, or follow us on Twitter at Martial Arts Chat. Just a final shout out to our sponsors, A1FightGear.com. Go to A1 Fight Gear for the latest cutting edge boxing gloves for professional and amateur fighters. Shout outs also go to beastgear.co.uk. If you shop there with the coupon code Martial Arts Chat, you can save 15% off your purchases. They've got core sliders and straps and barbell pads and all sorts of strength and conditioning programs at beastgear.co.uk. And finally, shout outs to MMA Takeover for all the latest news around the MMA world. Go to MMAtakeover.com.